Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, is another video game, I don't want to say review, but maybe first impressions video. Today we're tackling Borderlands 4 on the PS5. Now, the gameplay you're seeing is not mine. I cannot record on PS5. I just don't have the means to that at this point. And with teaching in Hogwarts, it's kind of hard. Anyway, so, whatever gameplay I take, I'll make sure to credit that in the description. Don't worry. Anyway, so Borderlands 4 recently dropped on September 12th. For a little, I guess, background information, I'm a massive Borderlands fan. I say that, but I have not played Borderlands 1 or the pre-sequel. But I did beat and play Borderlands 2, 3, and I was working on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands before 4 came out. So I have played a good amount of the franchise, and don't worry, I'll get to the other ones too. But the ones I have played are incredible. And then of course the movie came out, and look, I don't hate the movie. I don't have it. I got to get it on Blu-ray. Actually, I think it is watchable. I don't think it's the worst thing ever made, but it's not that great, let's be honest. But I don't think it's the ultimate train wreck that you think it is, or that people say it is. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. But, I do love the Borderlands franchise. And obviously, with that being said, you get to the, I guess, element of, okay, you've got Borderlands. Great. You've got a winning formula. Okay, good, right? You got open world hubs, cool story, fun characters, cel-shaded graphics, and a bajillion or whatever guns, right? Like it's how could it fail? And I'll be honest, Borderlands 3 is, or I guess I should say was, and still technically is my favorite. I'll admit, Tyrene and Torona or whatever the F, they're not that great, but I will admit that the gameplay is top-notch. The hub worlds are incredible. They're massive. There's a ton to do. The Borderlands franchise, in terms of, gameplay and replay value and just fun factor, like, this is some of the most addicting gameplay ever. I mean, obviously I love Assassin's Creed, Souls games, Lego games, Call of Duty, Battlefront, all that, but, like, Borderlands is up there, man. Like, it's freaking good. And when Borderlands 4 got announced, I was like, great, this is going to be awesome, right? Cool, what could go wrong? And then I got it. And I'll be honest, okay, look, we're going to start off with the positives. This game is so effing fun. This game is so fun. It is one of the most addicting games I've probably ever played. It's incredible. The gameplay is top tier Borderlands. It's top tier FPS, first-person shooter. It's top tier pretty much gameplay, right? I mean, the running is great. The running feels good. The shooting feels incredible. The feedback, the sound design, the hit marker when you kill an enemy, like the red cross, everything about the gameplay is incredible. It is, I believe, 22 hours in. And so, I'm like, 90 in Borderlands 3? But I can already tell this is the best gameplay. The grapple hook is incredible. You don't use it a whole lot, but when you do, it's really cool. You can use it to grapple yourself up. You can use it to grapple, explosives or whatever, certain quests and all that, so that's really cool. Obviously, you've also got the hover, right? So now not only can you double jump, which is fun, you can also hover, so it's kind of like a mixture of Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3. That's cool stuff, right? Really good. Again, the guns are incredible. One's a freaking shotgun, and then you hit a button, the D-pad, and it shoots a knife. And then one's a Theodore, where you got to reload the gun, so you throw it, and then as you throw the gun, it shoots other guns, right? There's an infinite almost amount of possibility. I mean, every gun, whether if it's good or bad, your stats or whatever, it still is a gun probably at least worth shooting a few bad guys with. Just to test it out, right? You can obviously save it, and you can keep it. You can, throw it out in the what do you call it? Garbage, or not the garbage, but the selling station. Obviously, it is an RPG as well, right? So when you kill bad guys, you complete quests, you do all that fun stuff, you level up. The leveling up animation or the screen is incredible. The skills are really great. And then you get to the Vault Hunters, right? You get Rafa and Amon, or Amon, whatever, the girl, and the other guy. Yeah, I think that's right. Or the other girl? I don't know. But they're good, right? I played as Rafa. I was going to do Amon, but then the weird guy that throws axes or whatever, he's like a big freaking Viking dude. I was going to pick him, but then someone said, it felt kind of clunky, which is by design. He's a big hulking guy. But I'm like, I kind of want to feel like I'm a little lighter. So I picked Rafa, and Rafa's got a few different, specific abilities, and one of them is the I guess it's like a machine gun or whatever, like on the top of your back, like you hit the button, the action button. and like you spawn out these LMG cannons or whatever, and you just go, you just shoot at whatever you want. You can upgrade that with rockets or specific type of firearm. You know, like one shoots ice, one shoots fire, one shoots corrosive or radiation. There's a lot you can do there. So the playable characters, the Vault Hunters, are incredible, really fun. Again, I've only played as Rafa, but I can tell they're all fun from the gameplay I've seen. Like, it looks cool. I want to eventually play as all of them. That's for every Borderlands game. I think every Borderlands game, that's one thing that they really, really nail. But at the same time, I think they really, really did a good job of making that feel, I guess, authentic in a really good way. You know what I mean? Like, it really feels like you're playing, like, a different character type thing, from what I've seen at least. So Rafa, though, is fun. I enjoy Rafa. The story is good. I think that, you know, the Timekeeper is an interesting villain so far. I'm not massively into the story. Obviously, this is open world. Now, you could argue the Borderlands games have always been open world. I guess they're technically not because there's loading screens, but they're pretty much open world, all right? Like, you go through, you know, Pandora or, I don't know, Caustic Caverns or freaking Skywell from Borderlands 3, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. They've all got massive, massive hub worlds. So they're kind of like mini open worlds, you know what I mean? Like, they're not super duper tiny. But this one is, you know, Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox or whatever, he was like really, really into the, oh yeah, there's no loading screens. You know, when you get in Kairos, the main planet, you're good. There's no loading. And I'm like, great, cool. And that is cool, right? Like, it is a seamless open world. And I don't think the loading screens and the borders of, you know, the previous games is a detriment. I think that was fine too. But it is nice to see. And obviously, you know, like I said, the game, first and foremost, yeah, the story's good, the writing's better, the graphics are good for the most part. It's just a fun game. If you want a fun shooter, this is one of the ones that you don't want to miss. This is like a top-tier shooter in terms of gameplay. It's up there with the best. I mean, it controls beautifully, at least on PS5. It's a great, great effing game, man. Really fun. Now for the negatives. Oh boy. So look, Randy Pitchford, I think if you've never heard of this guy, this is the CEO of Gearbox. He's kind of a weird dude. You can look up the controversies all you want. I'm not getting into him. I'm just getting into what he's been doing recently. So, the game Borderlands 4 dropped, right? And again, everyone's pretty much saying what I've been saying. Game's fun, looks good for the most part, you know, good story, good, all that technical stuff, right? But then everyone is mentioning how bad the game runs. How horribly effing unoptimized it is on PC. How terrible it runs on console. And yeah, look, it is weird, because Randy Pitchford's one of those effing dudes to come out and be like, you know, he's one of those guys that, like, you know, hypes you up and pumps you up, and he's like, yeah, this game's gonna be the best. It runs great, it's buttery smooth, it's effing amazing, you gotta buy it. Real fans will pay $1 million for it, right? Buy our game, it's incredible! And I read it, and I'm like, okay, great. It must be, right? Well, Randy said it ran like butter. But I guess what he meant to say is it runs like butter on crack, because this game runs like a depressed effing Snorlax on acid, okay? This is not a good running game. Graphically, it runs, you know, graphically it looks fine, right? Like, it's passable. However, on my PS5, and no, before you say in the comments, it's not a, your PS5's broken, or oh my god, you should get a PC, what are you, poor? Like, I don't want to hear any of that crap, alright? On PS5, a $500 gaming console, right? One of the best ways to play a video game. This game has the loading of Cyberpunk on day one. There are times where I turn around and the environment is just loading in assets, right? Like, it's blinking and there's like black holes everywhere because it's trying to effing load. You pull out a gun, right? You tap triangle or Y or whatever. You pull out your sniper rifle, great. And then you pull out your AR, your SMG, or LMG, or whatever the hell, and it loads, right? Like, you pull the gun out, but because the game is on Unreal Engine 5, and apparently it's a great engine, but apparently it's also not a great engine, so I don't know what's going on there. Some people love it, some people hate it. You pull out your gun, and it's like, for like a few seconds, maybe a second at the most, it looks like a blob. You know what I mean? You know that scene from Cyberpunk on day one? It's like, what are they go to a strip club or some shit, like the guy at the outside of the building is like it looks like Minecraft and Roblox had a kid. It's like, you know, they look like Play-Doh, and then, you know, their eyes load in and their nose and all that, right? It's like that. Like, your gun looks like Minecraft blocks for like a few seconds. It's really effing bad. It's almost, you know, this is not a game like Cyberpunk or the GTA Definitive Edition, right? This is not that broken of a game. This game is very good, but what holds it back from being an amazing game that I could recommend to you and anyone else are these little stupid-ass mistakes that Gearbox should have fixed before the game dropped. Again, I should say it, I seem like I'm a broken record, but it's true. If you're going to drop a game, it's probably in your best interest to make sure your game runs properly. Because look, you can have a game that is fun as fudge, and the story's great, and the gameplay is top tier, and it's fun, it's addicting, it's got good writing, good soundtrack, good whatever. But if your game runs like dog cheeks, there's no point. You could have the best story in gaming, but if your game is constantly dropping frames, constantly, I mean, the moment I boot it up, and okay, it looks fine, it looks great, my gun loaded, cool. Literally, like 30 seconds in, I pan the camera either slowly to look at my environment, or I, whiz the camera because it's a shooter and I want to shoot shit, right? It's constantly stuttering. This is a stuttering mess every single time. It's like hitching, right? You're not seeing my hands, but take your hands, right? Take your hand and just kind of, make like a, you can't see me, but take your hands and make like a high five, right? Make a high five and then rotate your hand. So you're looking at the side of your hand and kind of wedge your hand left and right very rapidly and slowly, like it's hitching or stuttering. That's what it looks like. This game, every time you pan the camera, it is just a stuttery mess, and it's just messy. Like, I want to take in this amazingly designed world, but every time I turn the effing camera, it's just a stuttery mess. And then the longer you play it, the worse it runs. Like, it starts out at 60 FPS, and then the more enemies are on screen, the more you shoot things, the more you roam around or drive or whatever, the game has a memory leak. And what a memory leak is in gaming is where the game is normally supposed to forget assets that it doesn't need, right? Prune that information, so to speak. It doesn't end up doing that. And because it isn't pruning that less valuable information, the game is compiling all this data. And because it's doing that, it causes the system to kind of lag and drop frames because it's trying to take control and take heed of too much information. And it just can't handle that. So instead of, again, getting rid of or pruning that data, it just keeps piling up. And it runs like a sack of poop, right? Like, that's what it is. So you can start out a gaming session at 60 FPS, but then the longer you play the game, the worse it runs. And it's mind-boggling to me how you can drop a $70 to $100+ game on Unreal Engine 5 in 2025, where the game still is loading assets and it looks like Minecraft, where you're rotating the camera and it's a stuttery mess, where the longer you play, you don't get rewarded with fun gameplay, you get rewarded with a shit frame rate, and you start out at 60, I ended up with I didn't have a counter, but I ended up with what felt like or looked like 30 FPS, 25 FPS. I mean, shit, I was going into the single digits probably, right? This is not good. This is not Cyberpunk level. This is not Defective Edition level. This is not the Gollum game level. But these little mistakes, like stuttering or frame drops or memory leaks, these are things that Gearbox should have fixed before they released the game. Now, maybe the testers are stupid, right? Maybe they're playing and they hired blind people, right? I don't know. Maybe Helen Keller's playing this game. I got no clue, right? The blind and deaf. They get the blind and deaf people to walk in and play this game. They're like, how'd it go? And they're like, great. Okay, cool. We'll ship it. Then Randy gets on Twitter and he's like, this game actually runs really great, actually. Butter smooth. It's not butter, Randy. It is gravel. Okay, this is rocks. This is not butter. So yeah, it's a shame because the game is exceptionally fun. It is one of the most fun shooters I've played in a long time. But it's just held back by performance issues, which I feel like in 2025 you should have, I don't know, not drop the game till you... And, one frame drop is fine, right? Like, I'm not expecting complete locked 60 all the time. Would it be nice? Yeah. Should that be the case? Yeah. But that's not real life, right? It should be, but it's not. Some games can, right? I mean, I own games that are flawless 60 or flawless 30 with literally zero dips, so it can happen, but on release, it's pretty tough. And obviously, yeah, look, I get it. The game is fun. It's got all these amazing features, amazing quality of life improvements. It's one of the most fun games I've played in a long time. But again, you get to these little issues, and it really docks points for me. It's just annoying. Like, I want to pan and look at the amazing world, but it's just a stuttery mess, and it's just every time I play it, I'm constantly being reminded, oh, this is stuttering. Oh, this is dropping frames. Like, I get 60 FPS for maybe 30 seconds, and then it's just garbage, right? Now, the bright side of this, I guess I should mention this too before I get. There's one more thing. On console, there is no FOV slider. FOV slider, for those of you that don't know, is called field of view slider. And a field of view is kind of like in a game or in a movie or whatever. The field of view tells your eyes or your brain how much of the information you can see on screen, right? How much of the game you can see on screen. So the lower the FOV, which this game has I figured it out. I found one of the devs on Twitter, and the field of view in this game is 75. Now, for me, I don't get motion sickness for that, right? Now, I have, right? I've played Modern Warfare 3 at 120 FOV. And then I played Far Cry 5 directly after during summer break because they had a patch. And I literally got dizzy because I went from 120 FOV to like 70 or 60 or whatever the FOV is in Far Cry 5. And I genuinely, I had to put the controller down. I had to walk away because I was getting dizzy. I'm not kidding. I don't get motion sickness very often. Hardly ever. But that game did it. And this game is locked on console, on PS5 and Series X. I don't even know if it dropped on Switch 2. I have no clue. If it is on Switch 2, it's probably around the same or less. It's 75. For me, if I just put in Borderlands 4 and I'm playing 75 FOV, that don't bother me. I don't care. Is it annoying? Yeah, I'd rather have 100 whatever 95, right? I'd rather have a bigger FOV. The bigger the field of view, the more you're seeing and the sense of speed you have, right? Call of Duty, Dying Light 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. A lot of the games I play now, the newer releases, have FOV sliders. And for instance, you look at Star Wars Outlaws, when you put that at the default FOV, K-Vess runs like a sack of, I don't know, like she dumped a barrel of spice, right? She's running in the drugs, and it's just slowing her movement. But I literally maxed out the FOV in Outlaws, and her sprint actually feels like her sprinting. And you could tell the high FOV because of like the fish eye effect or whatever they say. That doesn't bother me. The higher the FOV, the better for me. That rhymed. But at the same time, the bad part with this game is that, yeah, okay, great, you're stuck with 75 FOV, but on console, as of the moment of this recording on September 17th, you can't change that. And the problem is that people that do get motion sickness, some people, I don't know if they're just complaining to complain or they actually have this medical problem, but some people genuinely do get motion sickness from a low field of view. It feels like you're looking through a freaking telescope. And yeah, that's a problem. You probably shouldn't drop your game with horrible stuttering, horrible frame drops, memory leaks, and a field of view slider that is not present on console. That is a recipe for puking and disaster, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just not good. So, Randy, thankfully, and Gearbox, they are adding, or they're looking into adding, an FOV slider on console. So for me and you, if you're playing on PS5, Series X, Switch 2, whatever, the FOV slider is getting looked into, and it will be implemented soon. The bad part is that it's not out yet, so we just gotta wait. So, you know, I read tweets where they're like, oh, I can't even play the game I bought because I'm just gonna puke. Again, I don't know if that's like hyperbole or if they're just, you know, if they're just saying that to say it, but, you know, honestly, though, if you paid money for this game, because the thing is, an FOV slider is in every Borderlands game now. Every single one. You can change your field of view in every Borderlands game. So me and everyone else assumed that 4 would have an FOV slider, because why the hell wouldn't it, right? 2025, Unreal Engine 5, it makes no sense not to have it. But they didn't add it because they're stupid. And because of that, you just get this, you know, this thing where some people just can't play your game. And obviously, I think the real reason is because the game already runs like death. So if they added a higher field of view, it would just run even worse. But thankfully, we are getting it implemented, and we are getting performance fixes on console. I did find, I'm going to pull it up here on my phone, if I can. Yeah, so some guy on Twitter was like, oh, hey, are there any FOV or performance patches in circulation? Like, are you fixing this game? Like, it came out on Friday, and it's effing Wednesday. We don't have any official patches besides little hotfixes, right? Like, the game still has memory leaks. It still runs like trash, you know? Like, what's going on? And I'm going to F his name up. Grammy Timmons. Who is this guy? This dude is the Borderlands creative director. So there you go. He says, and I quote on Twitter, He says, we're going hard and fast on patches. Can't give a timeline, but they are priority one and are in motion. So there's your confirmation. Randy Pitchford sure as hell isn't saying it because he's making fun of all the PC players. But actual people who work there that actually care about the company and probably don't like getting death threats or whatever's happening are saying, yeah, like straight from the dude's mouth, we're working on patches. So yes, they are working on fixes for FOV and performance on console and PC. And then he says, we want them to go out as fast as possible. So yeah, they wanted this to probably go out Friday or Saturday, right? Like we want this to be out. We want them to go out as fast as possible, but they must be tested to make sure they do what they should. So yeah, that's just game development. Some people are too impatient. They're like, "Where's the patches? Where's my FOV?" Like, it's not just like and I'm not a game dev, but I'm also not an idiot, right? They don't just sit there and tap a button. You know, they don't tap the FOB button and, oh, look, it's there, right? Like, no, like, you need to code it, and you need to implement it, and you need to make sure your performance fixes don't severely wreck your game even worse. And then on top of that, you got to get, approval from Xbox and PlayStation. It's a big, drawn-out, long process, and it shouldn't have to take this long, right? The game dropped Friday, and it's Wednesday of next week. We should not have to deal with stuttering performance issues this bad and a memory leak this bad and no FOV slider where people are throwing up because they can't change it this far into release. Again, this stuff, I agree with you probably, right? You're probably thinking this. This should have been in the game already. They should not have dropped the game in this state. Is it the worst game release ever? No. But is it messy? Yes, it's really effing messy, and it's a shame, because when all cylinders are firing, man, this game runs when it wants to, and it plays incredibly well. This is, again, to wrap up my review here so far, 22 hours in, I have not beaten the story. I am a teacher at Hogwarts, so obviously, I'm not just sitting down playing this the whole time. I wish I could, but the game is incredible. It's very fun. If you just want a fun shooter, it is fun. But I cannot recommend the game to you on console. I can't. There's no FOV slider. And it runs like trash. Like, straight up. Like, the longer you play it, the worse it gets. Constantly stuttering, constantly dropping frames. That is a recipe for disaster. Again, you can have the most fun game in the world. You can have the best story, the best gameplay. You can have a Game of the Year winner, right? But if your game runs bad, there's no point. Because at the end of the day, video games are something that you play, and if the game you're playing runs horribly, and you're constantly feeling, lag and frame drops, and trust me, if you're a gamer, you can feel that, you can see it, it's just not fun. Like, straight up, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. You don't want your multi-million-dollar game from a AAA developer to run like garbage. And that's sadly what's happening. But thankfully, the end of the tunnel, I guess, is that they are working on fixes for the FOV. They are working on fixes for performance. So as of right now, 22 hours in or whatever, as a first impressions score from a 0 to 10, I gotta give Borderlands overall like a 6 or 7. Again, it's extremely fun. I love playing it, but these issues are so bad and so prevalent on all, and it's not my PS5. Go online if you don't believe me. Everyone's having the same problem on PlayStation and Xbox. Just open your freaking eyes. It's right there. It's not just me. When I said Lego Star Wars the Skywalker Saga had, Skyflicker, they're like, oh, you're effing stupid. Not on my console. Must be your Xbox. Like, no. Google it, YouTube it. People have this issue. It's a known issue. Still not fixed, by the way. Probably never will be. But yeah, again, to wrap up, game's really fun, runs like trash, and we are thankfully getting fixes. Once we do get those fixes implemented, and I download the patches and I actually play it and get more into the game, beating the story, when I get maybe 10 or 15 more hours in, I'll update you guys in a video, and I'll kind of give like an updated score. But right now, I gotta give it like a 6 or a 7. Again, I want to give it like a 9 or a 10. I really do. If they can actually make this game run better, and all this stuff is fixed, it's easily like a 9 or a 10. Easily. Like, it's one of the most fun, addicting games ever made for me. But at this stage, if you're on console, please don't buy it. Please. If you really don't care about frame drops or memory leaks or a low FOV, maybe, like, it's fun. Like, I'm having a lot of fun. I love the game. I love playing it. It's just, technically, it's pretty trash right now. So, again, I'll update you guys when we get more patches and more information. But right now, It's fun. It just doesn't work that great. All right, let me know your thoughts down below on Borderlands 4. What's your favorite Borderlands game so far? And do you like the Borderlands movie? Let's talk everything Borderlands down in the comments down below. Again, I do want to get more videos out. I am, like I said, Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, so I can't post every day anymore. I wish I could, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. It's a longer one, but I really wanted to get my overall thoughts, my history on this franchise, and my negatives and my positives, because it's, 22 hours is a long, it's a pretty decent amount of time so far, and I wanted to kind of, give my thoughts in a way that felt real and all that. So again, I'll update you guys when we get more updates. And hopefully the game will run better, and I'll update my score. But right now, I'm banging on a 6 or 7. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Break free.